Ever feel like you're banging your head against a wall trying to learn new English words? Ugh, those vocabulary lists, right?
The struggle is real.
But there's a fun way to learn new words, I swear.
Okay, I'm listening.
Music. What if I told you your favorite playlist could be like your secret weapon to unlocking fluency?
You know, that actually makes sense. There's some real science behind that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not just about catchy tunes, though those don't hurt.
Right.
Music, it kind of lights up your brain, literally. All these different parts, the ones that handle language, memory, even emotion, they all get fired up.
It's like music rewires our brains to learn better. We're diving into all that today, how music can help you level up your English. And we'll start with, let's see, vocabulary.
Good place to start.
Think of like song lyrics as a treasure chest, okay?
Okay,
It's full of these awesome new words and expressions just waiting for you to discover them.
I like that. And these words, they aren't just floating around randomly. They're part of a story,
Right.
you know, full of emotion, delivered with rhythm, way more memorable than a boring vocabulary list.
100%. Think about the phrase like a plastic bag. Kind of ordinary on its own, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But then Katy Perry comes along with firework and boom, you instantly get it, feeling lost, deflated. You know the feeling. Context is key.
huge. It's like the difference between seeing a word in the dictionary and then actually hearing it in a conversation. Songs give you that real-life context. It just clicks.
And speaking of conversations, have you ever noticed how much slang pops up in songs?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like a crash course in how native speakers actually talk.
Totally. That's the good stuff. If you want to sound more natural, you know, more fluent, textbooks can't teach you that.
So true. Okay, want a trick to make those new words stick? Think about how easily you remember choruses. Those get stuck in your head, right?
Uh-huh. Time.
Exactly. Do that with verses. Pick a new verse each day to learn, and by the week's end, boom, whole song, memorize. Plus, you've got like a zillion new words.
You're basically using those catchy melodies to, like, supercharge your learning. Love it.
Right.
Each time you listen and sing along, you're strengthening those neural pathways in your brain. They're like little bridges, see? And the more you use them, the stronger those connections get, the easier it is to remember those words effortlessly.
Now, let's talk about something that can be a bit tricky.
Hmm.
Pronunciation.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there, right? You
Yep.
stumble over a sound, and it can be a real confidence killer. But hold on, what if I told you singing along to your favorite English songs could actually train your mouth to pronounce those sounds better?
Wait, really?
Think of it like a workout, but for your mouth. Athletes train, right?
Yeah, of course.
This is the same idea. You're training your mouth to make those English sounds more naturally.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. But where do you even begin? It's like dipping your toes in the water. You don't need to dive into the deep end with a super fast rap song right away.
Good point.
Start slow and steady. Pick songs with clear pronunciation, you know, even children's songs.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Row, row, row your boat, things like that.
Yeah.
Trust me, those could be surprisingly helpful.
I've totally done that. When I was learning Spanish, I started with kids' songs. Really helped me get those sounds down.
There you go. It works. And here's a pro tip. Don't be shy. Record yourself singing along.
Oh, good idea.
It's not about sounding like, you know, Beyonce or anything.
Right.
It's about listening back and noticing those little things like, where's your pronunciation different from the singer's?
I used to be mortified to hear my own voice recorded, but it really helps you improve.
Totally. It's all about building self-awareness. And that's crucial for, well, pretty much anything you want to get good at, but especially language. Speaking of which, let's talk about confidence for a sec, because even with perfect pronunciation, if you're not confident speaking, it's not going to, you know,
It's true. You need that confidence.
you got to own it. I remember feeling so nervous trying to speak English with native speakers, even when I knew I had the grammar down, the vocabulary. Ugh, it was like this mental block.
It's so common. But here's where the singing thing comes back in.
Okay, tell me more.
Singing regularly, especially in English, it can actually help you breathe better. And that's huge for clear, confident speech. Wow, I never thought about it like that.
It's all connected. When you're singing, you're practicing controlling your breath. And those skills, they
Right.
totally carry over into how you speak every day.
That's so cool. So singing is like secretly training you to be a more confident speaker.
Exactly. Plus, the more you sing in English, even if it's just to yourself in the shower, the more comfortable you become with the sounds of the language. And that can be a huge confidence booster when it comes to actually speaking it.
It's like you're not intimidated by your own voice anymore.
Exactly. And the best part,
Ah,
you don't have to be the next Adele or anything. This isn't about being a pro. It's about having fun, letting loose, playing around with the language.
I love that. It shouldn't feel like a chore. Now, can we talk about accents? Because let's be real, sometimes it feels like there are a million different ways to speak English.
Oh, tell me about it. The world of English accents is, like, wildly diverse. But instead of getting overwhelmed, think of it like exploring different flavors.
Okay, I love a good analogy. Tell me more.
All right, imagine your favorite ice cream shop, right?
I'm there.
You got your classic flavors, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, the basics. Those are like your main accent groups. American, British, Australian.
Okay, makes sense.
But then, within each of those, you have tons of variations. Like with ice cream. You've got milk chocolate, dark chocolate, chocolate with nuts, chocolate with swirls of caramel.
Endless possibilities.
Exactly. Same with English accents. Take British English, for instance. You've got everything from that classic London sound to the sing-songy Welsh accent, the Scottish brogue, even Cockney rhyming slang.
So much variety in one country.
Right. And we can't forget about all the amazing accents we have right here in the United States.
Oh, for sure. Southern drawl, that New York speed talking, the Boston accent. It's incredible.
Each region has its own personality.
I love it. But how can someone actually start to navigate this world of accents and get better at understanding them? Because it can be overwhelming.
Totally. The key is active listening and consistent exposure. Think of it like training your ear, just like a musician would.
So, like, don't just passively watch TV. Really pay attention to how those actors are saying things.
Yes. The rhythm, the intonation, the slang, all of it.
Like you're trying to solve a puzzle.
Exactly. And there is no shortage of material. Want to dive into British accents? Peaky Blinders will give you a taste of Birmingham. Coronation Street, that's full of Northern English accents.
And these days, with all the streaming services out there, it's like you can teleport yourself to any English-speaking country just by clicking play.
Right. It's amazing.
Podcasts, YouTube, even just scrolling through social media from different countries.
You're really right.
It's like a 247 accent buffet.
I love it. And the best part is, when you're immersed like that, your brain just naturally starts to pick up on the nuances of different accents.
It's true.
One day you're like, wait, I'm understanding those Londoners without even trying.
The best feeling. It's like that aha moment. You're like, oh, I'm actually starting to crack the code.
Exactly. Speaking of decoding, let's circle back to the whole music thing for a sec. Remember how we were talking about why music is so powerful for language learning?
Yeah, it's not just about those catchy tunes, right?
Right. There's a reason those lyrics stick with us. It's like actually hardwired into our brains.
Okay, so tell me more about this, because I've definitely noticed I remember song lyrics way easier than, like, any vocabulary list. Why is that?
So remember that image of the brain lighting up like fireworks when we listen to music?
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's not just a pretty picture. Music really does activate all these different areas of our brain, including the ones that handle language, memory, and this is key, emotion.
So it's like this multi-sensory experience. Everything's more vivid, more memorable.
Exactly. Rhythm, melody, emotion, it all gets mixed up in this, like, potent cocktail for memory.
Interesting.
Think about it. It's so much easier to remember lyrics to a song you love, even if you don't really speak the language, than it is to remember, like, a boring grammar rule.
So true. I can still sing along to songs and languages I studied years ago,
See?
and I can barely remember what I had for breakfast.
It's all about that emotional connection. When a song really resonates with us, it's like it skips all the steps and goes straight into long-term memory.
Which is probably why so many people find that music helps them learn all sorts of things, not just language.
Totally. It's tapping into something really primal in our brains. Like, it's no coincidence that music exists in every single culture.
Right, like its own language.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. If there's one thing to take away from this deep dive, it's don't underestimate the power of a good playlist.
It's true.
It's more than just entertainment. It's a powerful tool. So crank up those tunes, sing your heart out, and most importantly, have fun learning English through the magic of music.